What's new with us? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
You tell them.
We're coming back to the Philippines.
We're coming back, guys. If you guys like local tours, if you like street interviews, you want us to pull random people off the street, you know, what's the taste of Philippines that you want that you can't get elsewhere? Here's our chance to ask you, what is it that you would like to know? So we call this the Philippines Roadshow 2024 for Filipina-Australian family.
Yeah.
A couple destinations. Maybe there's some vloggers out there we should hang out with.
Yeah.
I know in Bohol, we can certainly link up with people that we know there.
Yeah, in Naga.
Naga also, we're gonna approach some people there because there's some interesting vlogs there. Just the big ones we're looking at. Land. House and lot, maybe.
We can check
But
it.
that's a bigger investment.
My location is important.
Yeah.
And
So-
next, we also thinking to like buy a Jeep, right? Second hand.
So we were looking at, got lots of other videos related to this, but we were looking to invest in a transportation vehicle. And jeepneys are definitely an option. You'll meet...
I'm gonna meet my dad.
Yeah, that's an interesting backstory as well. What was the reason? Why did we decide now to book? You can't fly when you're pregnant, right?
Yeah. This is airlines cat from Filipina
Australian family. So I know you've been sticking with us. We started this channel outside of the Philippines.
Yeah.
We met inside of the Philippines. We had LDR relationship.
Yeah.
And that was our first instinct on how to share with others to get through that difficult phase. But life's been busy.
Yep.
And so the latest news is we booked some travel. That's what we're here to do, is take you through when and how we booked, what we're gonna do, how long we're staying, and then what does that mean overall for like our family plans.
Our plan inside of the Philippines, what we're gonna do there.
Yeah. So let's start off like this. First things first, what was the reason? Why did we decide now to book? It's coming up to March, so we're March 2024 right now. Why did we decide to book right now?
Well, because it has the cheapest flight ever.
That's right. We are motivated by discounts and
Very
saving and economical use of funds, savings and you know, budget and whatever.
I think we save a lot.
So Ella actually started this off, okay? So I'll tell you this. She hasn't been pushing me to go back. She is trying to just be in the loop about, you know, so how much does it cost to travel? Up until this point, she didn't really know. I booked everything. I made it. She could hear me talking about this price, that price, but I don't know if that really meant a lot to you.
No. Before.
But I sort of encouraged her to say, hey, you know, you're head of household now.
Yeah. And then you asked me to do it and find a budget.
Yeah, so she's head of the household. She's the family, mother, you know, mother of the household.
Mother.
So it's better to understand the budgeting, like the grocery shopping. And now we're getting into things like nice to have, like flights.
Yeah.
Up until now, we save a lot on food.
Yeah.
And so you have a good understanding of how much budget, weekly budget. So now we started looking at airfare, and you can recognize, oh, that's maybe a good price.
Yeah.
So she did use a website. I think it's Cheap Flights. Did you use that one?
We use cheap flights every time.
Yeah, I've never used Cheap Flights, but she was using it for these like price notifications.
Yeah.
So that was the start of it. She would get notified of like
every month.
every month. I don't know which airlines, maybe
I don't know which
Philippine Airlines,
Yeah.
whatever's the cheapest, it notifies
They
you.
just send me notification about cheapest flights.
So it's a step in the right direction. But she would come to me and say, hey, there's this price for this flight, and I thought,
Yeah.
And then in my mind, I'm thinking, is that the cheapest I've ever heard? Or not? And it's never was the flights that I've seen. I've seen like rock bottom prices, and that's because I'm always sensitive to that. And when I see it, you know, I remember it.
Yeah.
So, and I'm always on the lookout for it to see if will they ever, you know, go back that cheap again.
Yeah.
So.
And this like what company? I don't know what company is this. I think they have something like as a very very cheap like any person can afford that.
Yeah, and so there's some airlines that work really well, so I'll highlight it now. Cebu Pacific always has discounted flights.
Yeah.
The problem is it's very difficult. They might sell a ticket for 199 Australian dollars from Sydney to Manila, but there's probably only one ticket available, one seat, and after that the price goes up. So it's kind of like fake advertising if you think of it that way. Not always.
Can we tell them that how much the price?
Yeah. So just so you guys know, I know a lot of you guys are from the US and it's a big deal. It's like it's a long distance. So Australia, as you can see, it's a lot closer, and they have just cheaper options. Not all the time though. I would say normally a price would be $1,000 or $1,500 return trip.
Return trip now.
Now, no, like every day.
Yeah.
If you want to get up and go, you might be $2,000, right?
Yeah, but this time that
and how much are we paying?
1,000
for two people.
For two people, and it's a round trip.
Round trip. So that's $500 a person round trip to the Philippines from Australia.
So we save like $1,000.
So there's a huge savings there. And, that involves direct flights or almost direct, like one stop with not a big layover. So it's not a huge inconvenience. And ultimately, even if it was a rock bottom price, low, I would still consider multiple stops as long as it's not, hard on the body.
So we found also another, it's like Sydney to Manila, same price.
Yeah. So I guess how this all came up was Ella had started keeping track of prices. And then I thought, I'm interested. It sort of floats the idea that, maybe realistically we could travel. We're here in Australia. She's on a working visa or like a partner visa.
Yeah.
And that means that you can't really leave the country a lot.
Yes.
There's an exception you need to apply for to actually leave while your visa's...
It's a bridging visa. If you are onshore, you apply for partner visa and you can leave, but there are some situation that where you can do it, which is like applying bridging visa B. And it's gonna allow you to leave, but only one time.
So you can see how restrictive that is. It's not like we can just zip around. So I think you kind of have one shot to leave, and it's like for certain reasons.
Yeah, use that time like as in
maybe visit the family or something like that. So we don't know how that's going to go. I assume it's going to be straightforward.
Yeah.
Everything shows that they can't really reject you. It's just like can't go in and out of the country a lot while you're waiting for your visa to process. It's like exceptions only.
Yeah. So should we tell them the reason why we're coming back to the Philippines?
Well, the reason was, I think for me, maybe it's different reasons. For me, the reason is price and the price window. Like it was cheap at this time. I'd never seen it that cheap for a long time. And I could see it's not going to get cheap. It's like once a year.
Yeah.
So the chance was now or never. It's either 2024 or 2025, 26, 27. That was my thinking.
So we have these two reasons Scott and I before. Like, if I'm pregnant, we will go back to the Philippines, as in right away. But if not, we can still go back to visit our family because Scott and I have this agreement that every 1 year we will travel once to the Philippines.
And that's because we both have a connection to the country. Like I've got some work stuff there. She's got her family stuff there. And it's relatively affordable. It's not like totally excessive.
Yeah.
When we start flying multiple people, if I brought my daughter and family members and extra, that's going to add up. But 2 people, it's doable.
So we have this some planning that we want to do in the Philippines, that 1 month.
Yeah. So there's a piece there where you can't fly when you're pregnant, right?
Yeah.
So up until 6 months or less, you can fly. So that's where we're thinking, well, something might happen, but you're going to be okay to fly. So we're flying in only like 3 months. So that's okay. So even if you are pregnant, you can be all good and comfortable, not borderline.
So the locations that we want to visit in the Philippines will be, the first one is like the Pampanga and Subic.
Okay, so Pampanga is near Clark Airport. So that's where all the outsourcing. They've got walking street there for like what nightlife but it's just really easy. It's not Manila, so you can like have a good shopping. Real estate. We're doing some real estate tours there.
We will also visit the Subic.
So Subic's an interesting one. I've never been there.
San Fernando.
It's sort of like a resort area away from Pampanga. And what's San Fernando is like a suburb for real estate again. It's sort of a development area.
And next is like after that we're gonna be in Bicol, my province. It will be like 2 weeks. 1 week in Legazpi for visiting my family, and 1 week to Naga.
Yeah, because
Naga is one of another like location for we're thinking to leave.
Yeah, I'm really thankful for this because Ella has introduced me to the Bicol region, and it's just like seems like an unknown area for foreigners, and I think that's an opportunity with our background to be like ambassadors for the region and just to help people see what's there.
There's a lot of like beautiful places.
There's motorbike tours. I used to do a lot of motorbike riding. We did a lot of riding in Bohol, you and I, on scooters and motorbikes. So it's just not rushing around. We don't want to do 2 nights at a hotel every place.
And then another is next will be Bohol, right?
Yeah, so Bohol, I always wondered about that. I always heard of Boracay as the island paradise.
But it's very expensive.
But it's very touristy. Bohol seems, a little bit more like low-key, island life, beach sort of side. It's still fun. It's got a fun, and they've got a lot of adventure stuff.
Yeah, so
tours.
We're also thinking like some things that we can start just like having a life in the Philippines,
Yeah.
a little.
So this is the thing. We don't really know how much free time we're going to have. Visiting family is the number one.
Yeah.
Family, like with your sisters and brothers and mom and dad and everyone, cousins. So we'll do a family day, or maybe two.
Yeah. It's gonna be 2 days, like Saturday and Sunday.
We talked about doing a second wedding,
But
and we're not sure because of the timing, the cost.
Cost. I'm the one who said like it doesn't matter. Like I'm not really like kind of excited because I'm thinking the cost. Like we gonna visit there and then like we're thinking all this stuff, which is like we can use that in like being a practical,
So we're looking at more like a starter budget instead of putting it all in one big event. Even if that's like $5,000, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Would that be smarter to spend on a block of land?
Not really, but if you use that for parties, not really important.
Can we use it on an investment, and would
Yeah.
everybody agree? Like even family, I think they might agree. Oh yeah, that's better off if you invest in not only your future, but it does help them away.
Yeah.
It's another stepping stone for the family. So
And it's also for our future, actually.
yeah. So because of the type of transport that we go around, larger
Yeah.
groups, and
We also like every time we come back to the Philippines, we do this like kind of like family bonding, which is like we can use that jeep, and I think Scott and I, if we're gonna buy, we decided to put that on our name,
Yeah.
right?
yeah. So it's all about that province life. This isn't going to apply to people in bigger areas, and if you don't have roads that allow you to get around on a jeep, well, forget it.
Yeah.
But this is a unique situation. We happen to be interested in adventure tours and helping people get around as well.
Yeah.
So by the way, if anybody wants to come co-travel with us, I think we're always open to that.
There's a lot of like hidden gem in Bicol. It's just like you have to search a lot.
I'm going to show you this underground river that's there. That's hardly known at all. And everyone's going to El Nido for that tourist experience, but you can do it in Bicol as well, just totally low key and kind of secret. So
actually, our flight will be like in Sydney. So we're gonna travel to Sydney. That's our Sydney to Singapore.
Yeah.
So maybe we will go in Sydney like early so we can like look around.
good point. So I guess that's the one hang up is that we're in the Gold Coast, which is a great place to live, but they always change up the flights. It's not always direct. So there's no Gold Coast Philippines. You've got to get back to the big city like Sydney first, or Brisbane goes. But Brisbane to Philippines is very expensive on a direct flight, so forget that. The big airlines, we give a shout out to Scoot, which is a subsidy of Singapore Airlines, so it's good quality and it's cheap. They have really ongoing good stuff. So actually we're flying from Sydney to Clark directly. Not directly, we have to go through Singapore.
And maybe this, like maybe we have this like, subscriber in Sydney that like, want to just like meet us on that day, and they can just like email us.
Yeah, so this is like the road show, guys. So we'll call this the Philippines Roadshow 2024 for Filipino-Australian family.
Yeah.
You're going to meet Ella's family. You'll meet...
I'm going to meet my dad.
Yeah, that's an interesting backstory as well. This is your biological dad.
Yeah.
We haven't even arranged that yet, but we're going to be in the same area. So you haven't seen him in how long?
Since like I turned 18.
Oh my god, so this is going to be like a...
No, not turned 18. I think turned like since I be like 16.
16. So this is going to be emotional, guys. Like a little tear, and I'll be there for support.
Yeah, no contact.
No contact and interesting times, no contact at all. So, and this raises the fact that we'll be traveling around. So we're looking to make that roadshow worthwhile. We're not going to go like hop. We did that last time.
Yeah.
But a couple destinations. Maybe there's some bloggers out there we should hang out with.
Yeah.
I know in Bohol we can certainly link up with people that we know there.
Yeah, in
Naga also, we're going to approach some people there because there's some interesting blogs there.
Yeah, and maybe there are some bloggers also in Nicastro, which is like we can look around and just like...
So if you guys like local tours, if you like street interviews, you want us to pull random people off the street, what's the taste of Philippines that you want that you can't get elsewhere? That's probably the main thing. Of course, there's a lot of YouTube videos, but here's our chance to ask you, what is it that you would like to know?
Yeah.
And we'll include it. We just got to take our camera with us. And we just have to get lots of Wi-Fi, lots of load, because uploading these videos takes a long time.
And I think this is gonna be, Scott said this is gonna be like our late honeymoon.
Yeah, finally she gets the honeymoon in her home country. So, and I'm looking forward to it. I do have a lot of love for the country. there's lots to do, guys. Lots to do. Visa stuff.
Yeah.
We just registered our marriage. We'll see how that goes when we enter the country. So that's the big news.
So I think
So
that's it. I'm
pack
so
your bags.
excited.
Pack your bags, baby.
Pack your bag.
Oh, and the final catch is we bought the cheapest tickets possible. So there's no suitcases. It's hand carry only. So nice little challenge for you, my darling. Hey, pack your bags. Or she's gonna use my suitcase and I just come with a t-shirt.
Oh, but like I'm gonna just like bring like not a lot of clothes and you can just like do it by there.
Anything for the vlog, baby. Anything for the vlog.
Anything for the vlog.
All right, so sign off.
Yep. So if you want to like meet us in this Sydney, just email us. You will find our email in our channel, and then you know if there are some information that about flying to the Philippines and the cost, the itinerary, you can just email us and we will answer.
That's it, guys. So keep in touch. We'll definitely update you. As you can see, we're experts in travel.
Yeah.
Lots of experimentation, and we're not afraid to try things and be the first ones to do it. All right, see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.